Doo, 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 doo. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. And with you, as always, is me, James. Hey, everybody. Hope you had an awesome week. I'm glad to be back with you guys. Same cool place, same cool time. But this one episode is a little bit, obviously, a lot of thinking involved. And that thinking involved is me talking about boredom and the death of it. I don't know. I've been noticing in between parts of the day, something's different in my life, being, a child of the 80s. But, the drive, closed last night, and the drive after a close, standing in a bathroom line, walking the dog, just being actually in the bathroom, tying my shoes before a run. There used to be a little beat there, a pause. And now, how come I can't do a majority of these things without something in my ear? Like a song or podcast, watching a clip. Yeah, I call it normal because everybody does it now. It's kind of normal, and maybe that might be a red flag. We call it multitasking, but most of the days it feels like dodging the quiet. The second the noise stops, my head starts, talking. Some of it's fine, and some of it is stuff I don't want to deal with when all the lights are on. So I keep the light on my phone instead. Get distracted by that. Last night, when I drove home with the music off, that's why I kind of brought it up. Excuse me. I brought it up because I never turned it on because it wasn't on, and I didn't get until 2 blocks in before reaching the volume. I gotta put something on. Sitting that quiet didn't feel good. But why? Why is silence? Why does it feel unsafe now? It's weird. I noticed it. Turn the sound back on and then turn it back on again. It just I don't know. I turned it off, turned it on, turned it off, because I was just in my own head, and I was like a dumb little tug of war. That's that's basically what this episode's gonna be. It's just a big tug of war on just fighting off boredom, but on the same note, understanding maybe don't fight boredom. Listen, I'm 39. I grew up when I was a kid. It was pretty much the 90s, and there wasn't a feed in my pocket. We didn't have cars. We had just gaps, car rides, shit. I remember being in the car, just sitting in the car. Man, the last time you sat in a car and you just look out the window. I mean, granted, if you're driving, we're all driving now, but shit, as a passenger. Waiting around the house, you're a kid, so what are you doing? Nothing's going on. Your brain had to do something, For me, I would draw. I'd make up dumb little games with the carpet. If I saw a carpet with squares, I'd be I'm gonna make a board game in my brain. And shit, I mean, when things got really tough, granted I was 8, I used to sit at the table and turn my fingers into action figures. The ring and the middle finger down like legs, and then the other hand walks up and they meet each other and then they fight, and then honestly, if you usually I do this by myself. You've caught me making kung fu noises and sound effects, and he'd be like, what is this kid doing? But that was my imagination working, and that kept me occupied. Half of it wasn't good, but all of it is just me. So even now, most of the ideas I actually still show up in that way. They don't show up when I'm trying to chase those ideas, though. They show up when it's quiet long enough for me to notice. So I forget that. So the way I've been kind of thinking about it, trying to figure this all out for myself, if boredom kind of like bought me imagination, kind of like fueled it. What do I trade for not having boredom? Is this just how life is now? Or is it kind of designed like this? Because it really feels like every app and every feed is happiness when I don't get a single minute to breathe. Like I constantly have to like shovel content to keep that boredom at bay. And my thumb unlocks the phone before I even decide to do it. And that's a real, like, consciously knowing that I want to prevent this, I still kind of go towards that dopamine kick, that it's almost like an addiction. But then I have to ask myself, did I choose that, or did the habit choose it for me? Is this thing that's being offered, like, is it comfort or is it conditioning? And I can't tell in the moment. And when I say I'm relaxing, I actually, God bless you. Sorry, that was my dog sneezing. See, when I don't edit and I let things sit in its space, you get a cute puppy sneeze. I love you, buddy. All right. Sorry, back to the, what was I saying? So, like, when I'm relaxing and I'm actually relaxing, like, am I? Or am I just keeping the noise on until the clock moves? Because that's true too. Like, how come I can't sleep without the TV on? Or how come I can't sleep without looking at a phone right before? I'm starting to think that rest and recharge aren't the same things. Because rest feels like peace, and recharge also feels like maintenance. So most days I'm doing maintenance and calling it peace. And sometimes attention feels like a slot machine, because you're always excited, like what you could get. I always pull down that refresh button when I'm scrolling and hope I'll get a little hit, a little tiny win of something interesting. And what am I not noticing behind all that, though? If I stop checking, do I feel rested or will I be restless? And I don't know yet. I just know that the urge to check is louder than what it used to be. And I'm kind of being who I am. I'm curious what's underneath all that urge. What's underneath that? Here's another piece. If I never wanted myself to be bored, what's getting crowded out? Maybe reflection needs like empty chairs and I keep like overbooking the room. On paper, my day looks very productive. Boxes checked, messages answered, tasks done. But is that momentum or motion? And from inside the spin, they both look the same. So when I run without headphones, no playlist, no podcast, I start hearing the stuff that I've been dodging. I start hearing my breath. I start understanding my pace. And then also like the little negotiations I make myself 3 blocks in. And listen, nothing dramatic has to happen. It's not some big spiritual thing. But the run feels a little bit more honest. I'm not performing it for a song. I'm actually there. Like, this is as raw as you can get. And some days the music saves me. Cool, But some days the quiet is probably the best thing I need. And for my run is probably, considering I'm already doing something positive, I might not need that distraction in the first place. Maybe it'll feel different afterwards. I won't know which one I'm avoiding until I literally try both. And if I patch everyday pause, where do the feelings go? Behind a door. And then when the door finally swings open, I call it bad week. I call it burnout. Because basically every time that I have a moment where I'm not doing something, I'm filling it with activity, and it's usually through looking at my phone and getting dopamine from watching stuff. And if I leave a little space each day, does that backlog shrink, or do I just become more aware of it? And I'm not sure which answer stings less. I did know that I brought this kind of question up to the people I worked with, and they're all significantly younger than me. But I said, I'm thinking about trying to get more bored and do more, get more boring things. And the funniest thing about that is that they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And I'm like, yeah, like not looking at my phone. And they were like, oh, no. Like they thought boredom was looking at their phone. And it's not. It's definitely taking place of what boredom actually gives, in my opinion. So here's what I'm doing. Tiny, boring experiment. Nothing dramatic. Okay, so one commute, I'm going to go to work. Maybe I'll do it today. Nothing on. No music, no podcast, just the sound of the car. If I grab the phone at the red light, that's data. Not failure, but I have to start over. But now I know that I can't help myself. And that's crazy. One walk with my dog. No headphones, because I do it sometimes. And it's not even a long walk, but sometimes I'm just like, I just want to walk and talk, or I'll either talk to my AI or talk to somebody I know or listen to something. But I want to let Mac set the pace. See if present's easier when I borrow his, really just pay attention to my dog on the walk and just look at him and do his thing and be happy that he's outside and just take that in. 10 minutes in a chair with no goal. No breath work. No productivity. I'm just going to sit. If the first 5 minutes are ugly and the last 5 settle, cool. If all 10 are fog, that's still information. So maybe tomorrow 12, or maybe I just give up on this whole experiment because it's just too boring. But if I want extra little pockets, I should try to even make coffee or make food without looking at my phone, or stand outside at night and name 5 sounds. It sounds so they're cognitive, but that's the therapy that I always go to the most, is the ones that you kind of have to do behind your mind and behind the scenes to kind of get it done. It basically just, it's almost the opposite effect of what it gets done now. We all have these behind the scenes things that we always have, our Instagram reels that we have to go through, or TikToks that we have to go through a certain amount of time throughout the day, or any time that there's silence in between on our lunch breaks, we have to look at our phone. And so, it's just boring. You got to be. I'm going to try to be boring on purpose for a little bit. And what do I expect to happen? I don't have a neat prediction. I'll probably feel uncomfortable at first, like I'm missing something that I used to hold, and that could be a little bit of a draw. Maybe a little. Could be also recalibration. If I stay there long enough, which one wins? I'm hoping a couple good lines show up in the quiet, maybe not. Not every silence is a big revelation. Sometimes it's just what it is. It's quiet. I'm also expecting a couple truths being narrating around. Little habits I keep calling, that's just me. If they pop up, do they want change, or they just want to be named? And I'll figure that out too when I see it. So, zooming out for a second. We live in a world that moves fast and loves hot takes. And a lot of those first reactions for things, I feel right in the moment, don't hold up a week later. When a culture forgets how to sit with nothing, we start shipping everything half done. people too. Silence is where things actually get to finish. Grief sorts itself out there. Gratitude shows up there. It takes time. And it takes literally nothing happening for a bit. One more thing I notice. If I fill every pause with a scroll, I pay for it later. I get home and I'm tired in a weird way, not from work, but from noise. It's like I snacked all day and now I'm not hungry for the real meal. Boredom is the appetite. If I never let myself get hungry, of course the real meal doesn't hit. So maybe boredom isn't dead. Maybe I just stopped noticing it. This week, I'm leaving at least one unfilled and seeing what happens. I'll drive, and let's just see if it could be a drive. I'll walk. Let's just see if it could be a walk. A chair. Let's just sit in that chair. I don't have to earn it with output. That's the plan. Make a small pocket where nothing rents space. If something good shows up there, I'll bring it back, and I'll share it with you guys. Not as a lesson, just a little proof that quiet works. If the quiet feels loud at first, that's probably normal. That's the lights kind of coming back on. You're giving yourself kind of a little bit of a reboot. Give it a minute. Let your eyes adjust. But anyways, I'll be able to share what I find in my boredom. And I would love for you guys to share what you found in your boredom. Anyway, thanks for this boring episode. And thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to go try the silent commute today. And if you try any of it, cool. Tell me what happened. And if you don't, that's also cool. I'll be back next week. So anyways, I love you, you filthy animals. And stay bored.
Don't feed the animals, signs all around. We talk a lot of junk, yeah, you vibing with us now. Build something from the ground up. Yeah, we like to clown, talk about some real stuff, yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us, wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking that we bust and put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing, still bring it to the public. Y'all, don't feed the animals, put them in a cage. They couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room. Can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you. I'm with the show, yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrity, snatch a toy from your cereal.